Part 1 of a new series of videos, making tools on the fly. Many times I need a tool and I just don't have the right one. Either I don't have the time to order it or to go buy it, or it doesn't exist as a manufactured tool, or it's a special tool that's simply not available to the public, or it could be that it costs way more than I can afford. At times like this, I look at what is needed and just build it. If you're wondering, yes, I have been a tool maker as a profession. And so I've been doing this kind of thing for many, many years. Some would call these hacks. Sherry's father says I reinvent the wheel. But for me, this is just making the tools I need on the fly. The videos in this series will be occasionally released because I never really know when I'll need a new tool. This one is building a portable router table. In a previous video on the building of our new table, I showed how I could clamp my router to a table to work with small pieces of wood. One of the comments we received for that video got me thinking. Mark Matthews said, "Nice work. Seeing you use your router shows me you've done plenty of woodworking. Not very safe, as you said. And I also do that at times. So I thought, why not show a safer way of using a router? Because I'm a pack rat," that's Sherry's description of me, "I've kept more scrap raw materials around than I really should, but they do come in handy. This project costs less than $2 and takes up very little space in the coach basement. It added about an hour to my project, but I felt much better about showing how I make things a safer way. I started with a small sheet of plastic and marked the locations of the bolt holes in my router plate and the router bit center. This gives me a template so I can make this again when I need to. Then I drilled through the plastic into a piece of 1/2 inch plywood that I had left over from the drawers for the cabinet, using a 3/16 inch drill bit. This gave me the locations on the plywood, and the plastic has those holes in those locations to use the next time. Then I used a 3/4 inch spade bit to drill all the way through for the router bit. Then to countersink the holes in the plywood. This way the bolts would be recessed below the surface and not be in the way. I drilled far enough down to allow for a washer as well. That way the bolt won't be pulling through the plywood. Next, I used a step drill to drill the rest of the way through for the bolts. With the holes drilled, it was just a matter of bolting it onto the router. For my Ryobi router, the bolts are 5/16 inch diameter, 18 threads per inch, and are 1 inch long. I had one bolt of that size, and so I asked Sherry, since she was going to go to the store, if she would get me some more. While I was waiting, I found some of my metric bolts were close enough to act as locator pins. So I used the one correct bolt to hold it in place, and the other two kept it from moving. I still have the bolts Sherry bought for next time. With the plywood plate attached, all I needed to do was attach it to a table to work from. The nice thing about this is I can attach it with clamps, or if I want to, just use drywall screws through the plywood into a table or a sawhorse or something like that, so I can use it anywhere. Then I used the router depth adjustment to raise the router through the plywood while it was running. This cut the hole to the right size for this router bit. Now the part that I'm working on can't fall into the router, and I don't have to worry as much that it'll pull my fingers into the bit. For a larger bit, I would add a fence to the plywood router table to keep the part away from the wrong side of the bit. The fence would be just another piece of scrap wood screwed to the plywood, and it would keep my fingers away from it as well. Now, I do this kind of thing all the time. make a tool out of whatever I have around at the time. What about you? Have you ever made a tool to get a job done? If you have, leave a comment below. Also, if you found this video useful, share it with your friends.
Thanks for watching our video. If you like what you see, press the like button below and subscribe. And also check out our other videos.